and welcome to Revive Life, the talk show where you can ask your questions to the professionals, where you can share your story. Just give us a call, 613-728-1001. I'm naturopathic Dr. Joelle, and I've had the opportunity and pleasure to work as a practitioner, as a researcher, and as an educator in the 20 years of practice. And today, I'm really pleased and thankful to work with my team who's brought to you this show today, Revive Life. And we're going to be focused on ways to help you become informed on the latest health conditions, laboratory techniques. We're also going to help you understand some natural health solutions that you can actually take away today and work on. Our guests are going to bring you great information on foods, fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle, and they're going to help you become empowered, feel vital, and feel balanced. You know, with the statistics that we have today, for every dollar that is spent on chronic disease, only 4 cents is actually spent on prevention. And prevention begins with education. So the inspiration for today's show was actually based on a book called Still Alice. And this is written by the author Lisa Genova. And it was one of the books that was covered in my book club. And I was really fascinated with the storyline, because the woman who is the main character, Alice Howard, is a 50-year-old menopausal Harvard University professor. And she's world-renowned for her mind and the information that she brings to people. She's also known as the go-to person in her family for where her husband leaves his keys, his briefcase. And, you know, more and more as the story unfolds, what ends up happening is she uses more Post-it notes. She has to use her BlackBerry more often. And I mean, we've all been there. But the pivotal moment in the story is actually where the process of normal aging and memory changes that occur switches over into what we refer to as Alzheimer's. The most common symptoms that a person experiences with Alzheimer's begin slowly as a normal aging process and then may transfer over into more serious changes. The main aspect that occurs for Alice is that she then starts forgetting lectures that she's given time and time again. She's walking home one day and she can't remember how to get home. And this is a big significant change. The other factors that can happen is people can start placing their coats in, for example, the refrigerator, or can tell stories over and over and over again. We can also see mood changes. And so if you or any family member is experiencing any of this, please make sure that you are in contact with your healthcare team. The statistics of Alzheimer's, we will expect 1 in 8 baby boomers to actually become affected with Alzheimer's. So we want to be mindful of some of the changes that actually occur. So today, what we're going to learn is we're going to learn about the science of Alzheimer's. We're going to learn about some of the causes, some of the lab tests that you might want to talk to your doctor about, and the top 10 ways to boost your brain. And we've got a great lineup of guests. We do encourage you to call. We actually have a prize for the first caller. We have a gift certificate to the Pelican Fishery and Grill, so we're happy and pleased to present that. And with respect to understanding what happens in Alzheimer's, we want to look at the science behind that. So we actually today have a video from the Alzheimer's Association, and it's a great way to actually show you what actually happens during the process and some of the brain changes. So watch out for the plaques and the tangles that develop.
The human brain is a remarkable organ. Complex chemical and electrical processes take place within our brains that let us speak, move, see, remember, feel emotions, and make decisions. Inside a normal, healthy brain, billions of cells called neurons constantly communicate with one another. They receive messages from each other as electrical charges travel down the axon to the end of the neuron. The electrical charges release chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. The transmitters move across microscopic gaps or synapses between neurons. They bind to receptor sites on the dendrites of the next neuron. This cellular circuitry enables communication within the brain. Healthy neurotransmission is important for the brain to function well. Alzheimer's disease disrupts this intricate interplay. By compromising the ability of neurons to communicate with one another, the disease over time destroys memory and thinking skills. Scientific research has revealed some of the brain changes that take place in Alzheimer's disease. Abnormal structures called beta amyloid plaques and neurofibrillary tangles are classic biological hallmarks of the disease. Plaques form when specific proteins in the neuron's cell membrane are processed differently. Normally, an enzyme called alpha secretase snips amyloid precursor protein, or APP, releasing a fragment. A second enzyme, gamma secretase, also snips APP in another place. These released fragments are thought to benefit neurons. In Alzheimer's disease, the first cut is made most often by another enzyme, beta secretase. That, combined with the cut made by gamma secretase, results in the release of short fragments of APP called beta amyloid. When these fragments clump together, they become toxic and interfere with the function of neurons. As more fragments are added, these oligomers increase in size and become insoluble, eventually forming beta amyloid plaques. Neurofibrillary tangles are made when a protein called tau is modified. In normal brain cells, tau stabilizes structures critical to the cell's internal transport system. Nutrients and other cellular cargo are carried up and down the structures called microtubules to all parts of the neuron. In Alzheimer's disease, abnormal tau separates from the microtubules, causing them to fall apart. Strands of this tau combine to form tangles inside the neuron, disabling the transport system and destroying the cell. Neurons in certain brain regions disconnect from each other and eventually die, causing memory loss. As these processes continue, the brain shrinks and loses function. We now know a great deal about changes that take place in the brain with Alzheimer's disease, but there is still much to learn. What other changes are taking place in the aging brain and its cells? And what influence do other diseases, genetics, and lifestyle factors have on the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease as the brain and body age? Scientific research is helping to unravel the mystery of Alzheimer's and related brain disorders. As we learn more, researchers move ever closer to discovering ways to treat and ultimately prevent this devastating fatal disease.
So you can understand why it would be very difficult to access your memory centers, your creativity, and your language from that video. Today what we're going to do is stretch your arms, go get a paper and pencil, and we're going to take a look now at your health IQ. So feel free to call in your answers because we're going to have prizes for all of those. Number 1, Alzheimer's disease is caused from non-stick pans. Number 2, Alzheimer's disease is actually a third type of diabetes of the brain. Number 3, brushing your teeth with your eyes closed can actually help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. And number 4, vitamin B12 can help boost your brain. Number 5, the foods that can help boost your brain include blueberries, rosemary, C, walnuts, or D, all of the above. So with respect to looking at the brain, we can understand that the brain changes are a significant factor. Somebody just actually asked me whether Alzheimer's is genetically disposed. And yes, actually it's autosomal dominant. So what that means is that if we have 2 partners that actually carry the gene, then Alzheimer's can actually present itself. And I know that my father-in-law was really interested in today's show because it does run in his side of the family. And in the book, there's actually this theme of, would you want to know that you are at risk or would you not want to know?